bring in the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, who's one of the governors who took the federal government to court. Well, good to see you, and thanks for your time. And
welcome.
For the first time in a long time, we saw smiles on the faces of governors and legal luminaries there. Let us in on how this whole panned out. First, let's recap by why you went to court.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sure you followed the trend, all the developing stories, arising to, where we are today and the current position of the law. Well, this is not the first time that we are having this kind of, let's call it misunderstanding or, differences in policies and policy implementation in our party and in the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. But at all times, we'll always find a way to have a common ground, and implement policies that will touch the lives of the people. As at when this particular, policy came up, first, we were taken aback as leaders and governors of the various federating units. And we all swore to protect lives and properties and to ensure that we defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And then, but it's unfortunate that the policy came up and then proper consultations were not made. And as at the time, it has been implemented, that was basically when, we began to have one-on-one discussion with the various agencies that are mandated to implement these various, either Naira Redesign, cashless policy, limited cash withdrawal, and what have you. So, and we felt, it is going to have a serious economic and security impact on the lives of our people. And then every effort, put forward to see reasons why we should look the other way around of implementing it, we're not adhered to. The timing, the policy is good one, as good as it may be. The time frame for implementation, the timing of commencement of implementation, and the people are not well sensitized, well notified, well educated, as to what this policy is all about. And then, as all efforts to, put them, to the table failed, we just have to approach court.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, you had to approach the court, and the Supreme Court actually had very strong words for the president. I wonder what how that comes to you. It says the disobedience of orders of courts by the president in a constitutional democracy is a sign of the failure of the constitution and the democratic governance, that it has been replaced by autocracy and dictatorship.
Well, it is most unfortunate that we found ourselves where we are, to say the truth. I will never lie. The way I see it, I say it.
Do you think the president was autocratic?
Mr. President is not autocratic. Let me put it that way. Mr. President was ill-advised by those who fed him with lies, outright lies and falsehood. Mr. President is a respecter of law. Mr. President will tell you that even in a contest, if you disagree, go to court and seek redress. And you recall that Mr. President went to court almost 3 times in the course of running for presidency. So, Mr. President, even as a military, personnel, he does not break the law.
Right. Who exactly are these people that
the advisors? His advisors, those who are meant to those who formulated and are meant to implement this particular policy and programs. They are the ones that have misled Mr. President, and it's most unfortunate that they refuse to listen to us. We discussed and tried to tell them the implication of all of this. In fact, let me tell you, in the particular incident, or in the last meeting that we held with them by our forum, I did mention about 3 of them. I said, look, you guys are key to the implementation of this policy. Look, for you to know that this policy is popular, yourself and this and that and that, take yourselves, hold microphone, go and walk along the street of anywhere in this country. If I just go to Use Market here in Abuja and say, I am so. I'm the head of so agency, head of so parastatal, and I am a minister like this. And we're bringing this policy This policy is good for you. Say all the good grammar. Say all the English. Or use any language to explain it to the people. So we are the one that brought all of this, and then we say embrace it and see whether you return back home alive. I did challenge them. But when they remain adamant, there and then I made myself known. I said, look, I am going to court. Since you have refused to listen to us and you have shielded away, we, the more or less like the full soldiers of Mr. President, who takes his policy down to the grassroots to implement. And we cannot take this because our people are suffering. So we are not going to take this. We will go to court because it will mean that we ascribe to what you people are trying to do. See people in queue. People are dying. They are rioting. And we did point out that these are going to be the implications of some of these policies earlier. And they refused and they went ahead. So now it is happening.
You know, this is something that people. I'm happy you're here because you're one of the great, one of the big supporters of Mr. President. Yeah. Let us in here on what exactly or who exactly these people are, because people have been asking: are these members of your party or members of some other internal cabal within the presidency?
Let me tell you, Mr. President is my father. He's our leader. I love him. And I will continue to show him love till eternity. Myself, Governor El-Rufai, Governor Matawale, we are among these various governors that are so close to Mr. President, who is ready to spill our blood even for him.
And that was why people were amazed that you went to court and they thought that you were challenging the president because he was leaving office.
I will be the last person to allow Mr. President's name to be dragged into the mud. Mr. President came. We all canvassed for him. Nigerians voted for him, especially the Talakawas. And these are the same Talakawas that are suffering. Those who came up with this policy that are using it to punish the people were not elected.
Governor Bello,
but they came and put Mr. President inside bottle and cock him.
And we continue to ask exactly who are these people. And it doesn't seem this policy...
There are agencies that are responsible for the implementation.
Mr. Governor, let me just land on this. It doesn't seem that this policy actually affected the fortunes of your party or that of your principal, well, now president-elect of the APC. There was the notion that this was really all about him. And I know that at that, meeting with the press there, you actually pointed out that it was the PDP's policy and not that of the APC. I wonder how.
Because one of those who tried to force this on us, we inherited him from PDP. And if you watch the media generally, this is supposed to be APC, supposedly APC policy. But PDP is the one that are praising and marketing it everywhere.
It doesn't make it a PDP policy.
No, then because a key member of PDP is there. Was the one that came up with this particular policy.
Quite frankly.
Now, I'm coming just one moment. Right. Now, we said, no, this is not going to be possible. This is not implementable. Every policy and program of a political party is meant for the people to improve their welfare and well-being. But this is the other way around. Please reverse it. Yes, it did not adversely affect our campaigns and the fortune, because we took a proactive measure to dissociate ourselves from that policy, and then PDP were, owned it and pushing it, so Nigerians could see clearly who is actually after their welfare.
Did you think this was about the campaigns?
Sir?
The policy? Did you think the policy was about the election? The campaign.
On one hand, you say yes. On another hand, I don't know how to describe it, because we know that about two of those guys, they have interest, and their interest could not be accommodated, and then they wanted to take a pound of flesh on the party, and then it boomeranged.
Right. Well, Your Excellency, we could actually take you on, and we could go on and on that. But let's go to other issues so that we don't, spend all of the time. The elections have come and gone. You have won. Your party has won. well, you might say Tinubu won. Sometimes, I mean, some people actually ask, is it the APC that won this election or Bola Ahmed Tinubu? What do you make of the opposition to that victory, especially from the Labour Party and the opposition People's Democratic Party,
the
who
party
insist that an election did not happen?
Both the party and our president-elect won that election. Nigerians won that election, as a matter of fact. I have a high respect for Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar. I have a high respect to His Excellency Peter Obi, and they are Nigerians that have passion and they're patriotic. And they all have the agenda to come and serve this country. But in every contest, there must be a winner and a loser. This election was contested without deployment of resources as people would imagine it would be deployed. The people came out to express their will. And that is exactly the reflection of what the outcome of this election. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu today is the president-elect. I urge Waziri Adamawa, our leader too. I urge His Excellency Peter Obi and all of the followers to please sheathe their sword and let us rally round this amiable man, the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and let's see how we can implement the laudable programs that he's coming up with, as contained in his roadmap, the renewed hope. And I want to believe that Nigeria is going to be great for it. It is time for us to quickly heal the wounds, and let's move on.
You know, talking about healing the wounds, we had about 2 elections on Saturday, the National Assembly election and the presidential election. And just before that election, your name popped up, you know, on social media, and not a good one at that, that you had dogged the city and some villages, preventing specifically Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from getting to her village and others from casting their ballot.
What was that about?
That's the first time I'm quite sure you'll be speaking on this on television. But tell us, did you do that?
First of all, I don't. I usually avoid talking about her, simply because she is my sister, she is my subject, and I'm the governor and the chief security officer. I am bound to protect her and everyone in the state. And I'm bound to provide a level playing field for everyone to campaign and carry out electioneering process as free as possible. And I've been always provided that. Honestly speaking, if you ask me today why she continued to mention my name, probably she has not really come out to say the truth. Why? My name is so sweet in her mouth. If she goes to bed and she had any dream, it's Yahaya Bello, whether rightly or wrongly. If she has any issue with friends or her husband or anything, it's Yahaya Bello. Anything that goes wrong or right, sometimes it's Yahaya Bello. So I think that question will have to be asked on her first. Then, did I dig, some roads, some exit and entry roads? Yes, I did.
Why?
I did that because as the chief security officer, I must take every step to protect lives and properties at all times. You recall what Kogi was when I came on board in 2016. And every day I continue to come up with security measure, improve on it to ensure that the lives of our people are secured. Every election season or every moment comes with various challenges. I study, I move far ahead of the criminals at all times. Let me take you back. In 2019, a lot of people were killed, or some people were killed. And mainly they are our supporters. Some are my brothers and cousins. A week, a month, a week, even a day to the 2019 general elections. And what I came to realize is that, look, these criminals will not fly in. They came through a route. So we identified all of those routes. And again, here comes 2023 general elections. And there are indications, there are intelligence that these criminals will come in. Long before today, before that, the election, we had mapped out those areas all across central and other parts of the state.
So why did you choose this time really to come up with this policy? Because Akpoti says you were actually plotting to influence voter turnout in the Ihima-Okehi local government area.
No, you see, that's what I'm telling you. All these attacks that were carried out and the people killed, these are the routes people pass through. And there are main roads where people follow and what have you. Usually it is an escape route. So what we did was to simply dig it off. If you can't pass, if you commit any crime and you are running, we'll catch you. If you come in the night or any day, you cannot pass through, you find a way.
I think people know what you've done about security quickly. Let's see if we can close on this. They know that, they appreciate that. But again, would you agree that it's a good policy, but the timing?
Bad timing.
Bad timing.
Yes, I chose good timing as well, because that is the time they usually come and commit crime. During electionary campaign, we are aware of mercenaries that are being hired and brought in from various parts of the country.
So are you saying this had nothing to do with trying to intimidate Ms. Akpoti Uduaghan?
If anybody is being intimidated, I have been avoiding to say it. You know, some mercenaries in uniform were the ones that are rather intimidating the voters. You see, it is such a thing that I don't want to even go into, because I didn't contest for Senate. Mine is to make sure that there's security, there is safety, and let security agencies come up with a report. INEC is there to come up with a report, the police, the DSS, the military, and others. And it is a decision of the State Security Council meeting. And then mine is to implement.
All right, you still have a couple more years to implement good policies. Governor Yahaya Bello, Governor of Kogi State, thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.